Hello everybody again, and this is the November issue of the Mover magazine. Before I tell you what's in here, I wanted just simply to say that it was so nice to see you all again at the conferences in October, the I Am conference and the PAIMA conference. I particularly enjoyed both of them this year. I don't know about you, but I thought the I Am conference is usually frantic. It's well known for being a frantic affair, but this time for some reason it seemed to be a bit calmer. I don't know whether you found the same thing. Maybe it was the layout of the hotel or whatever, but it all does seem to work very well, and the venues, from the business venues to where the plenary meetings were being held and so on, it was all, and the meeting places was all sort of quite close, despite the fact it was a huge hotel. You didn't seem to be travelling all that far, and it didn't seem to be quite so crazy as usual. I don't know why. Well, I know there were a lot of people there, but anyway, I shall be reporting on my thoughts on the I Am conference and the PAIMA conference next time. This time, you will recognise the guy in the front cover. I guess most of you. It's Russell Start, and he has just spent a little time on enforced leave, which is why I've called the story "Back from the Garden." A bit tongue-in-cheek, sorry about that, but you know what I'm like. I like to do these things. The story's about Russell, about what happened the year that he had off, and his new job, and I'm sure you'll be interested to find out about this. There's loads of stuff in here, of course, as always, but just one or two that I wanted to point out to you. This is this story here on page 12. It's called "Self-Storage Shake-Up." Now, this is something that I'm sure is, I'm not sure, but I think might just be the start of a trend, which isn't particularly good for this industry. But this is a company who, it's called Shedspace.com, and what they're doing is they're allowing people that might have a little bit of space in their homes or in their businesses, maybe a bit of a warehouse space, or maybe it's a spare room or a garage or something like that, or even a driveway. To use their website to let that space out for, in effect, self-storage. How much it's going to catch on, I don't know, but this particular company did it as a sort of just a bit of a whim, really, just to see if anybody thought it was a good idea, and it's become very successful. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we're seeing more of this kind of thing. And the story's about that, which is why I've called it self-storage shake-up. I mean, it really is potentially going to shake up the industry if it takes off, and it may well do. What else have I got in here for you? There's another one here that I thought was interesting too. It's called "Selling Your Old Trucks in Africa." Now, virtually everywhere in the world we have regulations on the kind of trucks that we can use in cities, particularly in Europe. Now, most big cities, have got some kind of low emission zone or clean air zone or something. And of course there are restrictions on the kind of vehicles you can use. In many cities nowadays, you have to have a Euro 6 vehicle, otherwise you can't go in. So the older vehicles are becoming useless. And of course, not only are they becoming useless to you with your fleet, but they're also becoming useless to anybody that you might have sold them to, because they can't use the things either. But there are companies around the world that specialise in taking these trucks, often derating them, and then selling them for use in Africa. Because in Africa, they don't have the same restrictions, they don't have the same quality of fuel often, and so the vehicles can't run on Euro 6, and they don't have the servicing opportunities, servicing facilities there, and so they want the older vehicles, and so there is a good market for selling these vehicles that you find difficult to use elsewhere, and that's what the story's about. And I think you'll find it interesting. This is the story about Russell that I mentioned to you earlier on, and there was I want to come clean about something. Well, sort of clean anyway. This story here is called "The Great Vanity Award Scam." Now, a little while ago, we were contacted by an organisation that said that we'd won an award, and of course I was delighted. It was nice if somebody thinks that you're doing okay and they want to put you in for an award. Not that we'd won, but that we'd been put in for it. And so I thought, well, okay, let's go along with this. And so I said thank you very much. And then some weeks later found out that we'd actually won it. We'd actually won this award. And then when I found out what we'd actually won, what we'd won was the opportunity to buy a certificate or to buy a trophy or something like that. And in fact, what then happens is if you don't buy the trophy or you don't buy the certificate or whatever else is on offer, somewhere written into the small print is the right for this organisation to charge you for it anyway, and which is a little bit wicked. And so I've called it the Great Vanity Award Scam. The reason that that people do these things is because we're all vain. We all like to think that we've won something. Don't get caught, because there have been cases where these people have been caught by this, and it's been held up in the courts. So just make sure that if anybody has said that you've won any kind of award or been put in for it, that it is genuine. We managed to escape from this. It wasn't a problem in our case, but it has been for a lot of people. Of course, the other side of the coin is that if you see somebody that says that they're an award-winning organisation, it might be worthwhile checking out what kind of award they've won, because it's very likely to be one of these things, which is not worth anything, even the paper's written on. Anyway, there we are. That's there's lots in here, as always. Read it, enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye.